If she is always in your mind without any communication, it means Old Stoic wisdom. There's been silence between you and her for what feels like forever. Weeks, maybe even months. No texts, no calls, no communication of any kind. She doesn't even engage with your social media posts. Yet, despite all this, she lingers in your mind day after day. It's not that you're clinging to her. It's not even that you miss her. But somehow, in the quiet moments, her face appears. And it hits you with a strange force. You wonder why she's still there, why she continues to occupy space in your thoughts. The silence that hangs between you two is deafening. And it's high time you understood what it truly means. This message isn't for those simply mourning someone's absence. It's for the man who's exhausted from being anchored to the past, the one who doesn't want her back, yet can't escape the hold she has on his thoughts. You've convinced yourself that you're okay, but deep down, you know you're not. And no one has ever explained why you can't seem to move forward. If you're ready to stop merely existing and start evolving, consider supporting this channel. Your support helps share these insights with others who need them the most. By backing this cause, you're not only helping yourself, you're helping thousands of men unlock the storm in their minds. Let's build something meaningful together. Love is not about possession. It's about appreciation. Zrenia. 1. Why you can't forget her. Let's cut through the nonsense and stop pretending it's just about heartbreak. It's not her you're really mourning. It's insecurity. Before you brush this off, hear me out. I'm not talking about the obvious, loud insecurity, the kind that makes you slouch and mumble. No, this is the quiet kind, the kind that hides beneath your ambition, your confident smile, the "I've got it all together" mask you wear every day. This is the kind she saw when she got close enough to see beneath the surface. Deep down, you didn't believe you deserved her, and that's why, when she came closer, you pulled away. You didn't let her in. You pushed her out or tried to control the situation because, at your core, you didn't think you could keep her by just being yourself. And she saw that. She saw how much energy you put into impressing her, trying to win her over, instead of connecting with her as an equal. She saw the desperate need to control the outcome because, deep down, you didn't trust yourself to hold her in your life. And eventually, she walked away. And now, it's not just the heartbreak, it's the humiliation. Not the kind anyone can see, but the silent, private humiliation. The kind that cuts the deepest. What you're really struggling to let go of isn't just her, it's the wound she left behind. Because her absence confirms something terrifying you've tried to ignore. You still don't fully believe you're enough just as you are. Her presence was a fleeting moment where perhaps for once you thought you could be worthy. You thought you could be seen for who you truly are, even if you couldn't quite see yourself that way. Here's the psychological truth. When someone leaves us, our brains don't just grieve the loss of the person. We grieve the identity we built around them, the version of ourselves that we thought was strong enough, good enough, lovable enough. When she left, it wasn't just the end of a relationship. It was an emotional collapse, a reminder from your subconscious that you haven't yet become the person you need to be. This is why you can't forget her. Not because she was the best you ever had, but because her departure exposed the worst parts of you. The self-doubt, the need for validation, the fear of abandonment. She didn't just break your heart, she shattered the illusion that you were ready for something real. Instead of facing that harsh reality, you keep replaying the past in your mind. You keep her alive in your thoughts because it's easier than confronting the insecurity that caused you to push her away in the first place. Let's be brutally honest. You were never truly yourself with her. You were a version of yourself you thought would keep her interested. You avoided being vulnerable. You steered clear of uncomfortable truths. You put on a mask of confidence, but it was all about seeking validation, not standing firm in your own strength. She saw through it. Women feel energy more than they listen to words. She felt the hesitation, the indecision, the emotional fragility that lurked behind your surface-level confidence. And when a woman with strength senses instability, she doesn't always run off immediately. She tests you. She pushes to see if you'll rise, to see if you can hold your ground. And when you didn't, she disconnected. And that's what stings now. A part of you knows you failed a test you didn't even know you were taking. Stop telling yourself she was the one. She wasn't. She was the one who showed you that you're not the one yet. For yourself, you're still operating from fear, from lack, from the need to prove something, instead of the drive to become something greater. You don't need closure from her. What you need is to face yourself. You need to confront the insecurities that this experience unearthed in you. Tap into the iron mind and Stoic principles that the ancient Stoics lived by, and realize that your journey towards self-mastery isn't about external validation. It's about learning to be enough on your own. That is the key to moving forward. The old Stoic wisdom tells us to control what we can and accept what we can't. The first step is accepting that you are already enough without needing to prove it to anyone. 2. The truth behind holding on. The human mind is a curious thing. It's efficient, always prioritizing what feels unfinished. If she's constantly in your thoughts day and night without any effort on your part, it's not some mystical force at play. It's because your identity, your sense of manhood, and your confidence are still tangled up in her validation. She represents the incomplete version of you, your potential, yet to be fully realized. And your mind isn't just rehashing old memories, it's pushing you, urging you to either finish this or fall apart. This is why trying to forget her doesn't work. Deep down, your mind doesn't want to forget. It craves something deeper, redemption. You don't just want to move on. You want to conquer the battle you lost when she walked away. You don't need to win her back. What you need to do is become the man who would never lose her in the first place. That's how you reclaim your sense of self and move beyond the past. The man you need to become. This is about more than just getting over her. It's about transformation. The man you need to become is not the one who chases. He attracts. He doesn't panic because he's rooted in his purpose, grounded in his mission. He doesn't obsess over the past because he's too busy building something that transcends any woman's place in his life. This man is driven, not by the need to be validated by others, but by his own sense of inner strength and purpose. If she's still on your mind and you're still searching for answers, don't be discouraged. It means your work isn't done. It means the real loss is not what you keep telling yourself. You've been repeating the story that you lost her. That's the narrative you share with your friends when they ask what went wrong. That's what echoes in your head when you lie awake at night, heart heavy with regret. But that's not the truth. The truth is far more uncomfortable than you might like to admit. You didn't lose her. You lost yourself. Not the man who still wakes up to a job and responsibilities. Not the guy who cracks jokes or shakes hands in meetings. You lost the man you were becoming when she was around. The man who was growing, improving, expanding. And now, that version of you feels distant, as though he's vanished into thin air. The version you liked. And here's the hard part. The version of you that you miss, you liked him. A lot. He had fire, he had hungry. There was this quiet confidence, this sense that you were finally clicking into place. She didn't give you confidence. She didn't inject self-worth into you like a drug. What she did was reflect back to you the man you could be, the man you already were on the inside, but hadn't yet fully realized. Her belief in you gave you the permission to step into your own potential, and that made all the difference. When she was in your life, you had something to prove, not to her, but to yourself. You proved to yourself that you could love without fear. You showed yourself that you could lead with clarity, without second-guessing every move. You became a man with direction, not distractions. And that's the version of you need to find again. Embrace practical stoicism. You don't have to be defeated by the past. Stoic rules teach us that we cannot control external events, but we can control our responses. This is practical stoicism at its finest. It's about realizing that your value doesn't depend on someone else's presence in your life. The true power lies within you, your mindset, your choices, your path. The loss you feel is not a loss of her, but a challenge to rediscover who you are. You can't let your identity be defined by a relationship. Stoic wisdom teaches us that we must become indifferent to what we cannot control and focus on what we can. That means working on yourself, your confidence, your passions, your sense of purpose. Stop looking for validation from others and start demanding it from yourself. The man who doesn't need validation to feel complete is the man who attracts what he deserves. Be the man you were meant to be. Don't chase fleeting moments or distractions. Don't dwell on the past or try to bring it back. The man you need to become doesn't look backward. He moves forward with determination. Follow the practical Stoicism philosophy. Don't be afraid to shed the parts of yourself that no longer serve you. Focus on what you can control, and the world will start to see the man you were always meant to be. That is the true path to reclaiming your life, not by going back, but by moving forward as the complete version of yourself, the version of you that would never lose her in the first place. And if you agree with this, drop a comment right now. I am the man who holds the power. Like this video, subscribe for more unshakable wisdom, and remind yourself daily, silence isn't distance, it's discipline. 3. The reality of loss. If she is always on your mind without any communication, it means one thing. You're not living in the present moment. You're trapped in a cycle of thought and regret, haunted by the man you were while she was in your life. You replay conversations, stare at old photos, and endlessly search for the moment it all went wrong, convinced that if you could just find the answer, you could somehow change the outcome. This is the reality of loss. It's not just her absence that stings, it's the loss of the man you were when you had a clear direction, momentum, and a reason to rise above the ordinary. That man was living with purpose. When she left, you stopped moving, and that's why it hurts. You've lost your edge, your urgency, your drive for growth. This is the raw truth, no matter how hard it may be to accept. She may never have fully loved you, or she may have outgrown you, or she may have left for reasons you'll never understand. That's the brutal reality of life. People come and go, and sometimes the hardest lesson is realizing that relationships, no matter how significant, do not define your evolution as a man. But here's the kicker. You were better with her in your life, not because she completed you, but because she forced you to evolve. She was a catalyst for your growth, a mirror reflecting the man you could be. But the truth is, your growth was never supposed to depend on anyone. It was within you all along. The man you became in that relationship was real. He wasn't pretending. He wasn't faking strength. He wasn't acting. He was accessing his true power. The Stoics understood this well. As Epictetus said, man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. It's time to stop imagining and start living. The paths of wisdom tell us that growth is internal, and it's not tied to any one person or circumstance. You have the power to rise again, to find your direction, and to reclaim your strength. Stop waiting for someone or something to give you the permission to evolve. Don't dwell on the past or fixate on what you've lost. Get up, move forward, own your power. You must rise, and in that rise, you'll find that true strength comes not from being mirrored by someone else, but from finding the path of wisdom that leads you to mastery of yourself. This is the victory. This is the win. 4. Overcoming loss. Building leadership from within. When she's always on your mind, but there's no communication, it means something deep is stirring inside you. The absence of her presence brings up the question, can you still be the man you were when she was around? Or is something irrevocably lost? The answer is a resounding yes, but it requires you to dig deep and confront something you've been avoiding. Internal leadership. This is not about relying on external motivation or distractions, whether it's another woman, a rebound, or anything else that momentarily fills the void. True leadership comes from within. The man you became while she was in your life wasn't ever just hers. That man was yours. You built him, you cultivated his strength and discipline, you nourished him with hope, clarity and vision, and now it's time to do it again. But the key is to stop clinging to her energy and start reconnecting with your own. Reclaiming yourself means stepping forward and not looking back. Don't keep staring at the spot where she once stood, yearning for her presence, her approval, or her belief in you. Yes, it's natural to grieve. Yes, it's normal to miss her. But understand this, she was never the prize. You were, you are. What you truly lost wasn't just her, but the drive, the rhythm, and the vision that made you feel like a man again. That's what you need to reclaim. Not the past, not the girl, but the man she helped bring to life. This is your second test, and it's not one that's going to be easy. The memory of her, the feelings of failure, and the knowledge that you've got to face the reality of what was lost. It all stings. But remember, she wasn't your soulmate. She was your mirror. Her role in your life wasn't to complete you, but to expose you. To reflect back the parts of yourself you were unwilling to confront. Maybe you thought being present, showing affection, and staying physically there was enough. But it wasn't. The real test was whether you were willing to evolve into the man who doesn't rely on anyone else's belief in him, but builds his own sense of self-worth, leadership, and purpose. Don't let the absence of her distract you. The old Stoic wisdom reminds us that true strength comes from within. It's not about seeking validation from others. It's about cultivating your own iron mind, the resilience that can't be shaken by external forces. The Stoic principles teach us to embrace challenges and adversity, using them to grow stronger and more self-reliant. This is your path now, to take ownership of who you are, to lead from within, and to rebuild that vision of yourself that can't be touched by anyone else's presence. You are the prize. You always were. Now, go prove it to yourself. If you find today's content useful to you, don't forget to share your feelings and lessons with us, or simply comment, "Very cool." It's a great encouragement for our channel makers. Thank you very much. 5. Stepping through truth, the key to becoming the man you are meant to be. Let's get something straight. The truth is rarely wrapped in a neat little package, especially when it comes to relationships. But if you really want to grow, you need to face it head on. Forget the story you tell your buddies at the bar, or the version that paints you as the mature one. The truth is simpler, and it hurts. Because she left. Because you weren't the man you were meant to be. Not because you didn't love her, or because she didn't care, but because the foundation cracked. And if you're honest with yourself, you know exactly why. Sometimes she never even said it outright. Maybe she didn't even know how to express it. But her silence, it said everything. It screamed louder than any words could. Feminine energy has this natural way of testing masculine energy, not maliciously, but instinctively. It's how the world works. It's a dance. She's measuring depth, stability, consistency, and whether or not you've built solid roots. And you failed, not because you weren't good enough, but because you weren't prepared. You didn't have your feet under you. You weren't grounded. You were reacting, not leading. And instead of elevating her, you tried to keep her. You didn't evolve. Whether she left quietly or with a storm, the end result is the same. She walked. And with her, so did your chance to prove you were the man you thought you were. But here's the kicker. Her leaving wasn't punishment. It wasn't a slap in the face. It was simply a consequence. The consequence of not evolving, of not showing up as the man you could be. You were taking that test whether you knew it or not. You didn't pass. And men, true men, don't get to avoid growth without paying the price. The universe doesn't let stagnation slide. It erodes you. Listen closely. When you stay soft, passive, and indecisive, the feminine pulls away. It's just the way it works. It doesn't matter if she loved you. It doesn't matter if you have history. She's sensing that you aren't stepping into the role you were born to own. So she leaves. That's why it stings so much. Deep down, you knew. You felt the shift, the change, the way things were slipping. But instead of leading the relationship forward, you tried to keep it. And let me tell you something. Masculinity that maintains is a dying masculinity. Real masculinity moves. It builds. It adapts. If you're stuck in place, you'll watch everything you care about slip through your fingers. When you stopped evolving, you failed the test. But here's the part a lot of men miss. Failing this test doesn't mean your life is a failure. It wasn't about keeping her. It was about becoming you. The man who doesn't need validation from anyone else. The man who knows exactly where he's going and doesn't beg anyone to walk beside him. The man who leads himself even when no one's watching, even when no one's cheering him on. That's who you're meant to be. The second chance? It's not with her. That chapter is closed. The second chance is with yourself. This is your moment, the moment to rise from the ashes and rebuild. Will you step into the fire of responsibility and face the challenge? Will you reclaim the discipline you let slip away? Or will you continue coasting, telling yourself you're doing your best when deep down you know you're not? The tools to become the man you need to be are right inside you. They aren't in your phone, they aren't in your social media DMs. They're not waiting for her to text you back. The tools are in stillness, in discipline, in facing the uncomfortable truths about yourself, the parts that failed her, and owning them without shame or self-pity. That's where the real work begins. The man you could have been isn't gone. He's buried beneath excuses and distractions. Dig him out. Here's the truth, plain and simple. You don't get a do-over with her, but you get something better. You get the chance to become the man who never fails that test again. The man who leads, not chases. The man who builds, not begs. The man who evolves so far beyond the person you were that even her memory has to bow to the man she couldn't hold on to. You don't need her to pass the test this time. You only need yourself, your strength, your clarity, your purpose. This is your second test, and now, this time, you will pass it. Embrace the rules of practical stoicism. Lead with clarity, build from discipline, and evolve. You must grow beyond what you were. That's the test of life. Reclaiming yourself isn't some superficial task. It's a brutal war, a battle that starts every single day, fought between the man you were and the man you know you should have been. This is not about scrolling through quotes or watching motivational videos. It's about eliminating everything that weakens you. It's about silence, not the silence she gave you. That's just absence, void, and neglect. No, I'm talking about the silence you choose, the silence that strips away distractions, social media noise, fake validation, that incessant need to be seen or liked. It's in this silence where you face the hardest question. Who were you trying to become when she was in your life? You must ask it again and again until your chest tightens and the truth comes crashing down. That version of you, the one who was sharpening himself, leading and creating a future, didn't die when she left. He faded because you stopped feeding him. And if you want him back, it's on you to earn him. You do this by looking at yourself in the mirror, pen in hand, and writing what you've been avoiding. Write the pain, the loss, and the person you were before the distractions took over. But writing isn't enough. You need to train. Not just your body, but your mind. Push yourself beyond the point of comfort. You must remind yourself you're not fragile. You're not broken. You're rebuilding. Every drop of sweat, every rep, every moment of agony becomes a statement. I am back. Your strength is forged in those moments, but strength alone isn't enough. You must also eliminate everything that weakens you. Cut out the people, the habits, the addictions, and the distractions. If it softens you, it slows you. If it distracts you, it destroys you. Don't fall for the lie that recovery is the goal. Your aim is to never need recovery again because you never fall off track. This path of wisdom isn't for the faint-hearted. You must take decisive action to protect your energy and your focus. The truth is, you're not on this journey for revenge. If you're doing this to make her regret leaving, then you've already lost. She still controls your focus. She's still renting space in your mind. This isn't about showing her that you've leveled up. It's about making sure you never regret yourself again. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This is your moment to embrace that Stoic wisdom. Strip away everything that is unnecessary. Stop letting distractions control you. In the end, the only person you must answer to is yourself. Master yourself. Master your life. Take control of the path forward. The man you were is still inside you, and you can reclaim him. But it takes focus, action, and the refusal to be soft. This is your journey. Don't waste it. This is about your victory. The life you build now is not for validation or revenge. It's about becoming the man you were always meant to be. In this journey, remember Epictetus and the Stoic principles. Eliminate the distractions, eliminate the weakness, and build the future you deserve. This is your time. This is how you win. 6. The value of solitude and self-reflection. A Stoic approach. There's something uniquely powerful about solitude, especially when you find yourself at a crossroads. When you're in the process of rebuilding, it's in those quiet moments, those often uncomfortable silences, that you truly begin to see who you are. No distractions, no noise, just you, your thoughts, and the raw truth of your existence. It's not always pleasant, but it's necessary. As the Stoics taught, growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens when you face the discomfort head-on. Don't fear the quiet. Embrace it. You may find yourself constantly thinking about someone, perhaps an ex, a friend, or a relationship that never was. If she's always in your mind, even without any form of communication, this is your moment for reflection. Instead of obsessing over the what-ifs or the things you can't control, ask yourself, what does this tell me about who I am? What am I avoiding? This is where practical Stoicism comes in. According to the Stoic rules, we cannot control everything. In fact, much of life is outside our control. However, we always have control over how we react. If she is constantly in your mind, it's not about her. It's about you. It's about understanding why she holds that mental space. Are you clinging to an idealized version of the past? Are you running away from something within yourself? In moments like this, you must be brutally honest with yourself. Self-reflection is key. Don't avoid it. The hard truths will make you stronger. The Stoics understood that in order to evolve, you have to confront the truth about yourself. That truth isn't always pretty, but it's a powerful tool for growth. When you're willing to sit in solitude and reflect on your thoughts and feelings, you begin to see things more clearly. You realize that many of the things that consumed you in the past were distractions, ways to avoid dealing with your own shortcomings, your fears, or your unmet needs. This process of self-reflection is not something you can rush. You must take your time. It's tempting to look for quick fixes, to numb the discomfort with distractions like work, alcohol, or social media. But that's not the Stoic way. Solitude isn't a punishment, it's a gift. It's in these quiet moments that you discover your deepest motivations, your strengths, and your weaknesses. That's where real growth happens. Don't fill the void with distractions. Fill it with growth. Think about it this way. The mind is like a garden. If you fill it with distractions, negative thoughts, unresolved emotions, unexamined beliefs, then you're planting weeds. But if you take the time to tend to it, to reflect and cultivate positive thoughts and actions, you'll see something remarkable grow. You'll begin to see yourself evolve into a stronger, more resilient version of who you were before. This is what practical Stoicism is all about. Accepting your current reality, confronting your weaknesses, and taking actionable steps toward becoming better. You must act with intention. It's not enough to sit in silence and wait for change to happen. You need to engage in purposeful self-reflection. Make it a daily habit. This will allow you to develop the kind of strength and resilience that will carry you through life's challenges. You must evolve. When you face the hardest truths about yourself and the world, you will undoubtedly experience discomfort. But remember, as the Stoics taught, discomfort is the catalyst for growth. Don't shy away from it. Lean into it. This is your moment to evolve, to heal, and to become the best version of yourself. That is where true strength lies. In conclusion, solitude and self-reflection are not to be feared. They are opportunities to understand yourself better, to rebuild stronger, and to embrace the Stoic rules that guide us toward a more purposeful, resilient life. Make them a part of your journey. 7. power in remembering yourself. The true power does not lie in forgetting her. That's the easy way out. It's the path of weakness, forced and temporary. Forgetting is an illusion of control, a childish attempt to run away from your own emotions. The real power, the kind that lasts, lies in remembering yourself. It's about rediscovering the man you are becoming before you tied your identity to her validation. You need to remember who you were when you woke up with fire in your soul, not fear in your heart. You weren't made to chase after the approval of others. You were made to build. You were designed to create your own path and to rise above the noise of external distractions. The moment her memory crosses your mind, don't run from it. Don't bury it or pretend it doesn't matter. Instead, use it. Fuel it. Let it remind you that there is work left to do, that there are things you need to build and a man you still have to become. Her memory, though it might feel painful at times, is not a curse. It is a compass, a guide that points you back to the work you need to do on yourself, but only if you are man enough to face where it points. It's time to look inward, to embrace the discomfort, and use it to propel yourself forward. Reclaiming your strength is not about getting her back, it's about getting you back. The unapologetic, disciplined, dangerous version of yourself that you may have forgotten. The version of you who was once determined, relentless, and powerful. The version of you who didn't need anyone's permission to rise. You need to remember that man and begin the work of building him again. This is not about waiting around, holding your breath, or hoping for a sign from her. This is about taking control of your life, your purpose, and your future. Like Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This is a direct reflection of the Stoic principle that true power comes from within. The moment you stop relying on external validation to define who you are, you will unlock a level of inner strength that you never knew you had. The paths of wisdom teach us that to control our destiny, we must first control ourselves. That means learning to act with purpose, to rise above emotional impulses, and to focus only on what we can change. And what you can change right now is you. Stop waiting for her to come back. Stop surviving in the endless loop of hope, despair, and uncertainty. Stop hoping for a message or a sign from her, as if that would complete you. It's time to build your life on your own terms, to step out of the shadow of the past and into the strength of the present. You have the power to transform your life, but it starts with taking responsibility for yourself. No more excuses, no more procrastination, no more waiting for someone else to define your worth. This is your life, and it is up to you to decide how to live it. The paths of wisdom are clear. It is not in external circumstances that we find our true power, but within ourselves. You must reclaim the mind that you once had, the mind that was clear, focused, and capable of achieving anything. You were created for greatness, and it is time to embrace that truth with full force. It's time to break free from the chains of past attachments and build a future that is determined by your own vision, your own efforts, and your own success. There is no more room for hesitation. No more time to waste on worrying about what she thinks or feels. This is your moment to become the man you were always meant to be. The paths of wisdom, echoed in the teachings of Epictetus, show us that the true victory lies not in seeking others' approval, but in mastering ourselves. You must harness your inner strength, face the challenges head on, and build the life that you deserve. Take ownership of your journey, because it starts now. No more surviving, only thriving. Now is the time for you to rise. Hey guys, I hope this message resonated with you today. Remember, you are the message. You are the closure. You are the comeback. She's not just a memory, but a lesson that has shaped you. She entered your life to show you who you could become. Now that she's gone, the lesson remains. And you have a choice. You can let that lesson rot into regret, or you can use it to fuel your rebirth. You weren't mourning her. You were mourning the life you stopped chasing. So it's time to start again. This time, better, smarter, stronger. For yourself. Not for her, not for revenge, but for the man you promised yourself you'd become. If this message hit home, consider supporting the channel. Every like, comment, and share helps it reach another man who's stuck in silence. Together we can build a brotherhood of men who refuse to decay, who fight forward, and who rise again. Comment unstoppable if you made it this far. I'll see you in the next video.